It gives me great pleasure to announce that after a hugely successful event back in Melbourne in 2012, the Brisbane Lions will host their second Hall of Fame ceremony on Wednesday 21 May at the Brisbane Convention Centre. To further acknowledge the occasion, the team will be wearing a Brisbane Bears inspired Guernsey against Essendon in round 8, and obviously we're going to give our fans the opportunity to vote on the design of the Guernsey online in due course.
Yeah, I think it's really important for our current kids to, to be at nights like this, to see and have something to aspire to. I'd like to think that James Aish and Sam Mays and even guys that have been around a few years, like Brownie, that they want to aspire to be in the Hall of Fame for our football club. I mean, there's not many people that get the highest pinnacle from their football club, and it's a great honour. The night I was inducted with Lynch in the first night, it's one of the greatest honours I've ever had. So, in my memory, forever. So.
What did it mean to you that night, Lynch? Because a lot of the current playing group came back raving about how good that night was. What were your recollections of when you were inducted, and what do you think it can do for the club going forward?
Yeah, as Leppitsch said, I think personally, as a personal honour, it was a fantastic night. But I think it was also great to get the young players there to get to meet some of the old players, the old Brisbane Bears players and old Fitzroy players. Not all of them have been totally engaged in the club over the last couple of decades, so it's great to get those guys back in the same room. And I think it's a massive thrill for some of the young guys that are just starting out and have probably been based their whole careers out of Brisbane to actually meet some of those older fellas that, it's great to hear the old stories about yesteryear and the Brisbane Bears starting on the Gold Coast and Fitzroy in their days through Melbourne as well. So, no, great night personally, but I think it's a fantastic opportunity for the young players.
Justin, it seems like you've tried to integrate the past players into your system now. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, we've had a few around. I mean, obviously Lynch is close. Acker's been up. He's tried to get a job already, which is great. Hold him off for a while. He's doing a good job in the country, but he's probably a couple of steps to take. But I'm sure he'll be one. I'm not sure if he's available for induction this year. Is he, Malcolm? He is, so he might be one that's stepping up on stage this year, Jace. So it's great. I mean, there's going to be guys that miss out too. I think with every time we do this, there's going to be more disappointed people as well, and builds also a bit of something within it as well. But it's exciting. I can't wait to see the past players again. As Alistair mentioned, you see them so infrequently now. It's always a good occasion to get together also.
What's bringing past players into the... I don't know, are they talking to the group at the moment, or are you just do they come to train?
Oh no, just a lot of their past players don't live around. Funny enough, they live in Melbourne, and a few of them coach other clubs and assistants at other clubs also. From my generation, and obviously a lot of the Fitzroy crew are still in Melbourne. So Mickey Conlon's still around. He's at the AFL Kib up here. So we still see quite a few of them around. Yeah.
Alistair, what have you made of Justin's, even he hasn't coached a premiership match yet, but what have you made of his initial sort of foray into coaching, and have you seen anything different from Brisbane in their first couple of games?
I thought, obviously he played 2 games, NAB Challenge, stark contrast with the experience on the ground, NAB 2 compared to NAB 1. I think there's some really encouraging signs, particularly we saw in the first half on the weekend. Yeah, long way to go. Everything I hear, I'm probably not going to say anything different.
Yeah, exactly.
But everything I hear, it's going really well. There's been a great response from the players. They're engaged in the whole process. And again, only early stages, but we saw that out in the field on the weekend. I'm really encouraged by the direction the club's going. There has been some probably educated guesses from outside about how the club's going and where we're going. I think if you're informed in the direction the club's going, I think it's really encouraging. Mightn't be reflected in the first part of the season, but I think we're no doubt going in the right direction.
What have you seen that you think that I guess makes you so positive that the club's going in the right direction?
Oh, well, I think observing the club over the last few years, it's fair to say I think they were under-resourced in the football department. That's been beefed up. To get Lee Matthews back in the club is fantastic. You never want to see a great of the club like Michael Voss lose his position. That was a tough decision that was made, but you've got to look forward. We've got the inclusion of a fantastic coach that's done a great apprenticeship through the Brisbane Lions and with the Richmond Footy Club. Guys like Sam Mays has re-signed. A lot of speculation about our ability to retain talent, and I think the club has shown to retain someone like Sam Mays, extend his contract's a massive tick in the right column, and Peter Swab coming to the club. I reckon there's a lot of boxes being ticked at the moment. Now that mightn't instantly reflect on the field, and we've got to be conscious of that, but I think there's no doubt we're going in the right direction.